other side is real life. That is home. That is where we come from, and that's where we all return back to. All of these things here are just terms for humans to make up, you see, but what it is you're just returning back to the eternal aspect of yourself.
How did I get here? You got here through the fourth eye.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back for another live Q&A with myself. I am the Alchemist 369, and yeah, so welcome everybody. You guys can begin to drop your questions in the comments, and we'll get into them. Hey Mario. So before we get started, while we let some of the questions load up, preparing for what is to come. I don't know if you guys truly are aware of what is to come here. We are definitively headed towards a time period, the greatest time period that this creation has ever seen. That's just the truth. That is where we are headed. All of us will wake up, and this will be the greatest celebration in all of creation. And it's already here. It's already happening. When disclosure is already, it's already happened. I tell you guys ETs are real, right? Tons of other out of body experiences and abduction stories and all of these things, they all tell you guys that ETs are real. So like, ask yourself, what are you waiting for disclosure? Are you waiting for the government to tell you? You know, because we all trust the government so much, right? So like, if that's what we're waiting for disclosure, like, you know, we have to ask ourselves, what do we really believe? What do we, you know, really, who do we really trust? You know, if it's the government, then, you know, we got a lot more work to do. Another aspect of this is these things are real, guys. Like the pyramids in Egypt are, it's a hot spot. You see, like when it was active, it was a transported, it was like an airport for the other realms, you see. And I just seen Billy Carson just posted, oh, science finally says that the pyramids are electromagnetic, harness electromagnetic energy. Like, yeah, why are we waiting for science to confirm these things? Like, why do we need that validation? Is that where we put our trust? Do we still put our trust into science-based things here? Do we still put our trust into the government? No, we know those things, you know. So when it comes to knowing the truth, just go within. You know, if it resonates with you, that is the truth, you know. So let's stop waiting for things like that, and to prepare for what is to come. The moment that ETs are real is announced, like, what do you think your life is going to look like at that moment? You know, I would like to think all of a sudden going to work isn't all that important. You know, like, ETs are real. My reality has been a lie. You know, like, what else is true? What else is real? Right. So from that aspect, start living your life like that today. Because these things are 100% real. These things are 100% true, 100% real. And you guys can experience these things for yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. You see, and to get there, for these things to happen, for this place to fully open up, our collective vibration must rise. I know people have been saying these things for a long time. Oh, once our vibration rises enough, things will open up. It's happening. Okay. But let's take this a step further. What does your reality look like today? Is your reality in alignment for when things open up? Look around you. Are the relationships that you have in your life, are those congruent with that of the new earth? Are they? Be honest with yourself. You have to. Is your environment congruent with that of the new earth? If things open up, if an angel came here today, is your life congruent with that? Is it? If it's not, then we need to get there. Yeah. So with that said, we can get into it. And I know, and another thing I want to touch on before we get started with some of these questions. What's up, guys? It's nice to see some familiar faces in here. What's up, guys? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. And before we get started with the questions, I want to touch on another thing: out-of-body experiences, right? Often people are struggling trying to achieve this state, and it's a lot more easier. It's a lot more easier than you guys think. Yesterday, I shut it down twice. I shut these experiences down because they're happening so much. Like, I shut it down. I took a nap yesterday. I just felt myself leaving my body, and I shut it down. I was like, no, I'm not trying to go right now. Last night, again, I go to sleep. I feel myself coming out, and I shut it down. I was like, no, I have a live tomorrow. I'm not trying to come on the live talking crazy because I just came back from an out-of-body experience, you see. So I say all of that to say, not everybody, but a lot of people overthink the process. It's a lot easier to achieve this state when you just feel it, when you move through your heart space. I never understood when people say, oh, you got to enter your heart space. I never understood that until I started leaving my body. You really have to feel it, right? Now, it is possible to think your way to an out-of-body experience, to mentally force yourself there. That's how I started out. But to do that, you have to be in a very high state. You guys have to be meditating every day. If you're not very strong and very focused and in control of your thoughts and very powerful when you meditate, you need to shut your brain off when you're trying to achieve this, right? If you're not very mentally focused and very mentally strong and able to do things like sit for 10 minutes straight and not have a single thought enter your mind, you're going to struggle thinking your way to an out-of-body experience or using your mind to do that. So when you're practicing, relax and just feel it. The other side is home. Just if you haven't had one yet, just imagine what it would feel like and imagine your soul leaving your body when you go to sleep, and it will happen. It will happen, guys. The other side is very accessible. It's very accessible. It's you can go to the other side at will whenever you desire. You just got to feel your way there, But all right, let's get into some of these questions, and welcome everybody. It's great to see everybody here. And yeah, let's keep all questions and comments to that of a positive nature. For sure, this is a great space for awakened souls to come and learn and try to remember. There's no room for negativity here, and these things are always difficult when I open these things up to the public. You get all types of people when you host events like this for the public, but keep these comments and questions in a positive nature. And if you guys have a burning question and you have to get out of here, feel free to drop it in a super chat or something like that, and we will get to those as soon as they come in, for sure. But yeah, at this time, let's get into some of the questions, and we'll try to help you guys out. So, what are the things we can do during the day to prepare for an OBE? All right, the number one thing to do to prepare is clearing your field. Clearing attachments from everything here, because you are about to leave this world, man. You are about to leave this world and everything behind temporarily. So that is probably the best thing that you can do to prepare for an out-of-body experience, is clearing your field. Now, what does clearing your field really mean? What does this entail? Making sure all relationships in your life are in a good state, so nothing's weighing heavy on your soul. Like you didn't just have an argument with somebody. This is just an example. Clearing your field from work. Clearing your field from work. So when you're practicing, you're not thinking about work. Basically, anything that can keep you here emotionally or mentally, you want to clear that out. You don't want to speak to too many people that day because their energies intervene with your field. You want to stand in your signature, your frequency, and be in a good state. I just did another testimonial with this guy, very similar to Logan. He said, my partner was leaving and everything just seemed to line up. When the stars align, you will meet the divine. Oftentimes, the first time for me, when I was leaving pretty consistently, but like for my first big one where I left and went and actually got some information, I felt it that day. Like the day that happened, I just did everything good. Like I was in school at the time. It was a Saturday, and I just sat in my basement. I had like this little man cave place that I would go and do all my schoolwork on, and I just did engineering drawings the whole day. And I was actually listening to what's his name? I don't want to mess this. Dr. Omar. The real. I think it's Dr. Omar. I was listening to him on YouTube, and I was just in a very good high state. And then I just felt it. I just felt good, and I just felt connected to the other side. Everything was clear. I was no longer forcing it, and just accepting it. And you'll feel the shift. You'll feel it within you, and that's the day that it's going to be the most easiest for you to access it. And then also prepare for when it happens. Because when sleep paralysis comes, or the vibrational phase, or you feel yourself being sucked out, be prepared. Educate yourself. I did many presentations on the sensations that you can feel, what's really going on. Educate yourself as much as possible. That will help. And then as far as preparing during the day, like, don't overthink it, you know? Like, I have coffee in the morning and I still leave. Like, I could have coffee, do this, and go take a nap and leave, you know? Yeah, and today I'm not drinking the ginger tea. Today I'm drinking some actual coffee. It's like 7 in the morning for me, but yeah, so that those are things that you can do during the day. I mean, sure, does blocking out everything, staying away from devices, electronics, do all of those things help? Yeah, they all help as well. Um, just trying to deprive yourself from everything here. Honestly, if you stayed to yourself for a whole day, didn't watch too much electronics, didn't have too much coffee, was physically active, was physically tired, but still mentally aware, not mentally drained, though. You want to be physically tired, but not mentally drained. There's a difference. And then on that day, that probably would be your best day to try, for sure. I don't know why I'm struggling. I know I can do it and I'm not scared. I look forward to embracing my experience. Maybe outside issues like work and relationships are getting in the way. Yeah, you really have to relax yourself and let go. You see, you're leaving this world behind. Not nothing that helps you here is going to help you there. Um, so yeah, you really have to relax your mind, and that's kind of like what I was trying to say before is you have to feel your way through. Like if you're practicing it, like don't sit there and thinking. Don't be thinking like, oh, the binaural beats working. Am I gonna feel this? Don't sit there and think about that. Just let your mind go and feel it, and it will happen. It's not something that you need to. It's nothing that you need to do. Like there's nothing that you need to do besides depending on how you're practicing, which technique you're doing. If you're laying still trying to induce this consciously, there's literally nothing you need to do other than lay still and shut your mind off, because for you to leave that way, two things need to happen. Your physical body needs to be shut down. Your electromagnetic field generated by your heart needs to be low enough to allow your soul to leave, and your mind needs to be shut down in the delta state. Those two things need to happen. And how do you do that? By relaxing, not moving, and not and not thinking. When your brain's in the delta wave, you're not really thinking. You're just kind of like letting your mind do what it does, like just wandering and surfing, like daydreaming. Have you ever had the sensation of daydreaming? Like that's kind of like what you need to do if you're doing it that way. If you're just trying to feel your way and set affirmations and go to sleep, shut your mind off there too and just feel it and just expect it to happen. Those are some things that can help. What's up, Caesar? Do people from the other side of the ice wall who forget who they are like we do? Yeah, for sure. So they're still in forgetfulness as well. The ETs are even in forgetfulness, guys. The veil of forgetfulness is here. The only reason why people may be more advanced or feel like they know, um but to feel like they know, like they know more than us or something like that, but they're still in forgetfulness. And the reason why we don't feel like this is because this realm has been hijacked. Like when we go to school, we're not taught that we're eternal. We're not taught these things. We are taught about history. We are taught about things like that. So that's the only reason why it feels like we're so lower than them. It's because in these 6 continents, the control structure here makes it like that. But yeah, they're all in forgetfulness too. Been getting better at lucid dream. Is there a way out from a lucid dream? Yeah, Monday or Sunday at 7 p.m. I'm doing a presentation on Beyond the Veil on how to navigate from a lucid dream. There certainly is a way to get out from a lucid dream. I'm going to be covering that in detail because during week 1, it felt like a lot of people like when, because a lot of people seen success in the lucid dreaming, they were able to develop their skills enough to have lucid dreams and things like that. So I feel like this is a good way to help people navigate this, because it also eliminates the fear aspect of it, right? Because fear is the number one thing that's going to block you. So if we can remove fear, the out of body experience would be so much funner. And when you do this from a dream state, oftentimes you're in a good state because you were just in your dream, where you were in complete control. And then after, you're in a good state, you feel good, especially if you're lucid in a dream. Those dreams are the best, right? So you're already in a high state, a high vibration, and fear is not even in your question. You're just like, okay, I'm about to leave. So like, that's a great doorway. So yeah, I have a full presentation coming up on that. It'll be Sunday, in Beyond the Veil, and I'm just going to cover every way that I've left during the dream, how I've induced it, and then how to actually get out of the dream, different ways that I've done that. Yeah. Oh, what's up? What's up, my man? What the hell is an actual starseed? Sorry. Tell me that. What the hell is a starseed? I see all the starseed stuff online, but is that stuff real? Yeah, so starseeds are real, but I don't like when people say, "Oh, I'm a starseed," and they get too caught up on the ETs, guys. Chances, every single one of us has been something before we were a human. Every single one of us has. Now, are there people here that have been ETs more often, and then they come here for this human mission here, for this collective great awakening? Yeah. And those are the ones that are running around saying, "Oh, I'm a starseed, I'm really an ET," and things like that. Well, first of all, we aren't any of these things. First of all, we are just our souls, right? We are all just our souls. So identifying with any type of character within here is silly. Even saying that you are an ET, you're not an ET. You are a soul, an infinite soul. You see? So identify, but yeah, some people, it is true that, some people that had many incarnations as ETs are here to help and things like that. It is true. But like, I used to be an ET, before, but I'm not running around saying I'm a starseed. No, I'm an eternal soul, but yeah. It just comes from people, waking up here in the human body and getting messages and stuff and not knowing really where to put it or how these things work. It's just feelings and things like that. But yeah, I believe that's where that comes from. But it's not to disregard anybody if you've been saying you're a starseed or anything like that. Like, I understand, but ultimately, we all are, every single one of us. So saying that is kind of silly in that aspect. But I hope that helps clear it up, my guy. Don Quell has a question. He super chatted it. Let's get that one. I see what you're trying to get at, my guy. What's something you've gatekept about the nature of reality, or something you've seen you can reveal today? Yeah. So I'm not really a gatekeeper. Like, I tell you guys everything. Like, I'm not really a gatekeeper. And that's why, I had some falling out with some people. Because, like, why? Like, they try to use the word integrity, but like, integrity to me doesn't mean it means telling the people the truth. That's what integrity to me means, at all means. But yeah, so I'm not really a gatekeeper. But the biggest thing about nature of reality that has been kept from us is that there are separate levels of consciousness that you can reach here in this physical body, and that this reality is layered. And you can leave your body and access this and essentially be like a god here in the physical through leaving your body and accessing information. And everything here is frequency, energy, and vibration. That's probably the biggest kept secret of all times. That's why Tesla was disregarded, and things like that. That's for sure probably the biggest secret. And I don't think that this really resonates with people when I tell them this, that meditation is real, everything here is frequency, energy, and vibration. So meditate, clear your mind, clear your field, access the divine. This reality is layered. Leave your body, go see it, get information. Free yourself from this reality. This is not base reality. Those are probably the biggest things that will shift everything and game change everything for sure. But yeah, I hope that helps, my guy. I know you're looking for like some crazy shit, but like it's all there. All the fairy tales are real. The myths, the legends, the Great Flood was real. You know, I feel like I've said a lot, but I hope that helps, my man. My question is: there a realm that I do keep some things private though. Some things that I feel like people aren't ready for sure. So like I don't tell you guys everything, but the majority, yeah. My question is: there a realm that teaches us the whole truth and who we are? And what are stars exactly? I know they are portals to kingdoms, but how do they work exactly? So my question is there a realm that teaches us the whole truth and who we are? It's not necessarily. So as you go higher in the realms, and like you wake up, like the history is here. So like as you're in these places, your memories start to come back slowly. Now, is there a place? The universal records is a place where like every answer will come to you. I know that. I've been in there briefly, but as you go up, like once you, especially once you leave this place and you're back in realm 12, you'll see like this whole creation and you'll see everything. Now are you really going to see everything when you're a human in a brief out of body experience? Yeah, you will, but you probably won't even be able to really understand it all. Now what are stars exactly? Stars can be described as many things, but essentially what creates them is it's a light bleeding in through the firmament. It's light from the other side, outside of this creation, bleeding in through the firmament. Now when I say that, there's also other aspects to it too. Like, okay, well, what creates that? How are they bleeding through? And that's where they can become like imprints from souls here and things like that. Yeah, but that's all they are. They're fixing the firmament and they rotate around us. Yeah, and they're all tied to specific times and spaces within this creation. Yeah, and just when you go there, I mean, you'll be brought to right back here to a specific time, place, or kingdom or realm. And you'll be brought back here. Now, how do they really work? So think of the firmament like this: like there's a firm layer, then there's another firm layer. In between this is water, right? And it rotates like that. It rotates like this around us in the water, in between the two firmament things. All right, we got another super chat prop. Let's get to that. I'm reaching the vibration state now. I started feeling beings' presence during the day, like touching my feet or drafting my face. I'm not scared at all. Did I wake up something? Are they aware of me? Did you wake up something? I don't understand that aspect of it. What do you mean, did you wake up something? Like, did you wake up something within you? And are they aware of you? Yeah, beings are aware of you, for sure. Everything is a lot more known on the other side than we think it is. And when you ask for help and you seek these things, people will be there to help you. As soon as you think about it or ask yourself for help and truly remove all fear, they'll be there to help you. For sure. But you have to ask for it because we all are still in free will. So you really have to ask for it. And how do you know you're ready for it? Because you asked. But yeah, I'm not really, Yeah, you're reaching the vibrational state. But yeah, I'm not really understanding what you mean when you say, "Did you wake up something?" Um, Sorry, I'm just not really grasping that part of the question. Um, let's go. Mario has another super chat prop. Let's get that. What's up, Mario? Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, shout out to the Beyond the Veil family for sure. Oh, thank you, Mario. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, and it's gonna be good. And we don't have one tomorrow because I'm focused on leaving my body this week repeatedly and developing some things for you guys and getting some information. So we don't have one this week, but next week, yeah, we'll come back and we'll have a great presentation to help you guys leave through the dreams. But yeah, man, thank you. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. Involuntary head movements during meditations or deep focus. Slow and smooth, seemingly random. Anyone have experience with this? Yeah, yeah. Especially if you're meditating sitting up. Yeah, it's when you reach like a real meditative state, like a channeled state. Yeah, I used to do that too. I used to think you had to be still when you meditate like that, but you don't. Yeah, yeah, I've experienced that as well. The energy's rising, your frequency maybe beginning to rise and things like that. So yeah, yeah, it's completely normal, I would say, for sure. And tap into that. That's like I get excited, like yeah, I'm reaching this state. Yeah, for sure. All right, it's raining behind me, guys. I'm in Bali, so hopefully it doesn't drown out the sound too much. All right, Fresh Cuts Barber has another super chat. Uh, let's get this one. Explanation for prayer. Can I pray to myself instead of a God? And is hair important? OBE, make it grow fast. Of course, a barber would ask this. What's up, man? Or woman, not sure. But explanation for prayer. Yes, 100%. You can pray to yourself or the universe or whatever it is. Um, all right, I don't want to. Being a public figure is hard because, like, try not to mess with other people's belief systems and not to make anybody upset. But when you're praying to God, what is really going on? But if I didn't tell you guys this truth, it'd be a disservice, right? So when you're praying to God, you're really giving your power away, right? Because God in the Bible is depicted as somebody that made you or that told you to come here or made you come here or that's going to judge you or anything of that's you, right? Your higher self. So when you're praying to somebody like that, it's really giving your power away, right? But you can ask the universe for help, the other side for signs. And I would much rather say pray to yourself and bring it in here that way than to pray to some other type of being. And then even then, a lot of the gods that people used to pray for, they were just other beings. Like a lot of those Egyptian, they were just other beings from higher realms. And people are like, oh my God, they're coming in from the sky flying. They're a god. No, it's not that. It's not that. So for sure, I would say don't pray to another. And amen. You guys know where amen comes from? Amen. Like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I used to pray every night. I used to pray and say, and pull that question back up, Prep, because there was another aspect to that I want to touch on. But I used to say, now I lay me down to sleep. If I shall die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. That's the prayer I used to say every night as a kid. Think about how crazy that is. If I shall die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Who the hell am I praying to take my soul? Like who? Like that was the craziest prayer. When I woke up to the fact these things, I was like, oh my God, like who was I praying to? Yeah. That's crazy. Like, you don't want anybody to do that. And now, is hair important? Now, it is true that hair acts as you know, to gather information from the ether and things like that. That part is true. But is it necessary? No. Monks are bald. Monks are bald, and monks are some of the wisest people. OBE does make it grow fast. OBE unlocks many things in your physical body. It does. Like, you can come back. You're not going to need to eat. You may not need to sleep. And the most important thing that OBE does is it changes your belief system. So now you know these things are real and true, and you can start commanding things. So yeah, things will start to grow faster. You can even get your body in shape really quick. Because one thing that you guys have to understand is that, like, the power of the mind and your belief is so powerful. Even if you're working out, if you're not working out and you're just thinking about working out, it literally makes your muscles, grow. They've done studies on this. So like the placebo effect is real. You can change your physical appearance here, by thinking it. And you also, action does help. Like, I'm not going to say if you just think about a six-pack all day, are you going to have a six-pack? But it doesn't really work like that yet. But, action does help as well. But yeah, it does. It does, man. Is life review mandatory? So I don't know for me to say if it's exactly mandatory, like if it's like something that we all have to do, or if you really don't want to, can you say no? That I don't know, but I do know that everybody does have one, and I couldn't tell you, because since we found out that we're uncontrollable souls and that we can do everything, I don't know. I haven't heard a near death experience yet say look, I said, nah, I don't want that. So I don't know. But what I will say is, once you are out of here, I know from a human perspective, the life review, it seems as if you don't want that, or you don't care about this life. I felt that too. But once you step back into your soul, into the eternal aspect of yourself, this life does not matter. You would want to review this life the same way that you want to see past lives. Like, let me see what I did. Let me see what's going on, and from a bigger perspective. So you will want to, it's just a part of the coming out of here process. It very well could be a mandatory thing, something that we agree to before we come in here, but it's definitely a helpful thing. It's definitely a helpful thing. And if you're worried about a life review, then start changing your life now, so you're not worried about it, right? Because if you're worried about a life review, or you're saying that you don't want that, it's because deep down, and we all have to be honest with ourselves. You can't fake or hide anything here. Like, we all have to start being really honest with ourselves. Everything is known and revealed on the other side. So if you're worried about a life review, it's because you weren't living in alignment. So that feeling that you have here, like, oh, I don't really want to see myself here. Why? It's because you were living out of alignment. So start living in alignment, and you won't even worry about that. You see? Bobby, have you seen this place that looks like infinity, and there's all these creations on the ground that look like puddles, and a lot of the people there walk around in like Greek looking robes? Yeah. I have seen that. Yeah. So there's levels to this, right? There's levels to this. There is like this realm of Zeus with inside of this creation. There is like this realm of Zeus inside of here, where you'll see like those Greek looking god type beings. But yeah, and then outside of here, there is a place that is huge. It goes infinite. It's infinite. There's like an outside, there's not really outside, but there's like an outside place, and then there's also buildings with creations on. It is huge. Absolutely huge. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like outside of here. Beings with like Greek looking robes. Some of them do. Not all of them, but some of them, yeah. I would like some help on how to direct the experience. Could you share more of the commands that you use that have worked for you? Yeah, so it really helps to just make sure that your body's completely shut down first and foremost. And it's a state of being more so than the commands. Because I can tell you tons of commands and then you can say them and they may not work for you. It's more of a state of being. It's more knowing that you are your ultimate authority and moving like the God that you are. You see, it's more not just wishing or hoping to go somewhere. It's more you really have to command to go somewhere. The commands themselves aren't what really does it. It's your intention and your willpower and your soul. Who are you that makes them happen? So it's a state of being. You know, it's more so a state of being and remembrance when you're outside of here and commanding things, right? But some commands that I use are clarity now to get more clarity, vision now, things like that. I've done that. I'd say show me whatever I wish to see, but it's more so a state of being. And also, if you're not vibrating at the certain level, it's not going to open up to you. So especially when you're trying to get somewhere for your first time, it's tough because you don't even know the vibration of that place or the frequency of that place. So that gets a little tough. But once you do know it, it's easier to get there for sure. But it's more so like I used to try to understand this too in the beginning. I was like, how are people going places? How are they doing that? And then I understood it's more of a state of being. You know, that's the underlying truth. I have tons of commands and how to things to help you guys navigate in Beyond the Veil. I put together tons of presentations on those as well. So if you're really interested, check that out. But the underlying truth of this is it's more of a state of being than any particular command can help you. Like you have to just understand who you are and just move like that. I hope that helps. If as above, so below is true and evil exists here, could the creator of our universe just be a bad actor? Are we trapped in a construct built by a villain? No. Evil exists here. Can evil exist there? Yes. But in its original state, evil wasn't even a thing because duality even came into play until this creation happened. And we didn't know that how this creation was going to play out because it's never been done before. And this isn't even a bad place. This is not a bad thing. We just feel like it's bad because we're coming from a human perspective and we're in forgetfulness. And this place has been hijacked by other living beings. Like the creators didn't make it like this. The other living beings here in control did. You see? That's who made it like this. Not the creators of this place didn't make it like this. You know, I mean, sure, they made the template and you come in here and forgetfulness and, you know, things like that. But the actual events taking place here didn't make that. That's where free will kicks in and the illusion of control takes over. And the they, right? That's where that comes in. No, and the creator of the universe is not just a bad actor. You know, it's just not that. No, it's not that. And once you step outside of here, you'll see everything is really kind of lovely and beautiful. It's just when you're here in the human experience, if it's tricky because the veil is so thick and you can get lost here. You know, that's really just what it's about. And I wish, you know, the things that like I'm teaching and Beyond the Veil and things like I wish that was things that were taught in school. This place would be so much different. That's the foundation of why this place is so bad. We are not taught the truth from the time we are born. If there was ever a root as to why is there so much pain and suffering here, it would be that. because we are not taught the truth about our divinity from the time we are born. Because people know this, but it's hidden knowledge. It's secret knowledge. You know, all that BS. But if this was known on a large scale, there would not be that much pain and suffering here. You know, so that's more so the root cause. And that came from the illusion of control, you know. When they find out that, oh, we make people believe something, we can control them for personal gain, and the illusion of power and control here. You know, people get addicted and lost in that feeling and sensation. You know, it's kind of too bad, but it does happen. How to make the experience last longer. You can just command it. Just command it. Immediately, the further you get away from your body, the longer it can last. Because when you're close to here and you're close to your body, you're not really outside of your electromagnetic field. And at that point, any high emotion will elevate your physical heart rate, and you'll be back in your body. So that's step one, is to break that and get away from there. Now, the next thing is just command it. You just command it. First thing is making sure you're completely out, right? Completely out, full authority, full clarity, making sure your body's shut down. If you're not fully there and present, command to be fully there and present. That's the first thing. First thing, you have to make sure that you're fully out. You're not in an astral projection state. You are fully there, physical and present, and away from your physical body. That's step one, right? Because if you're not, you're going to be navigating, and you'll come back very easily. But as soon as you are fully there and out, you can go anywhere, man, and then command it. I've came back. Now, sometimes in the experience, you'll just be right back, like instantly. Sometimes you'll start to feel your consciousness drift. And if that's happening, you can command to stay there longer. Say, no, I'm not going back to my body. I'm staying. Just say it very firmly, you know. I've done that. I've even came back to my body and commanded to leave again. Vita just did that too. You know, like that's what I teach. You know, it's like to command things, and like, you know. But yeah, that's how you can do that. Yeah. If I take psych meds, will they work if I come out of my body? Yeah, you can leave your body. A lot of the issues that you have here do not exist once you are outside, except for like ADD or ADHD. I believe that's because people are so used to being able to do everything and everywhere at once that when they come in here, they're just not used to being like humans again. But more often than not, mental things and physical things for sure are gone as soon as you leave. Mental things too. A lot of mental issues are they just don't exist when you're outside of your body. That's just more of a human thing. But yeah, they will work. Yeah, they will work. Yeah, everything's safe, guys. You guys can do this no matter what. No matter what you have going on here, you can leave and go to the other side for sure. For sure. Did some soul agree to bear witness to this time period of the Great Awakening before we were born here? Yeah. Yeah, 100%. A lot of us have done that, came here to take part of it. More so, I'd say not just to bear witness. Like, if you came here just to bear witness, like, why wouldn't you come here to help, you know? But yeah, a lot of people did come here to experience this, to bear witness, to take part in, you know, for sure. Yeah. What do animal souls do here on the physical realm? Are they more advanced in the OBE state? Yeah, they're kind of the same. But in the OBE state, they're kind of the same in the aspect that their personalities will be the same. Like, who they are doesn't really change. But then once you get outside of here, yeah, their memories come back. They can step in their divinity. They may not even have a dog or whatever animal soul that they had, they may look like a human outside of here, once they step back to themselves. But immediately after this, like, you'll see like their personalities are the same. Like your dogs are are pretty much the same. Yeah, but and it's different too, because we think dog animals are less smart than us. Well, why? Because they're not operating in this game the same as us, in this human matrix. Like on the other side, these things don't exist like they do here. Like being smart and intelligent there does not equate to being smart and intelligent here. Not all the time. It's weird. There's a lot of paradoxes. But I will just say, yeah, they can be more advanced in the OBE state, because there's not as many limitations and things, and they're more free for themselves, and they can communicate with you as well, like telepathically. So, like, for sure, they're more advanced. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna take like a 4 to 5 minute break here, as I get situated, and then we'll reconvene at the top of the hour. So, if you guys are watching or something, we can take a little break, and we'll reconvene in like 5 minutes. Okay, just give me a moment. All right, guys. Sorry about that, but I'm back. Um, yeah, and then I had a little bit of a Wi-Fi issue. Um, but yeah, all right. So we have another super chat from Sooty. All right. So thanks for your supportive words and encouraging energy, Andre. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. You guys don't have to thank me. This is just what I'm here to do. I think a lot of us feel wary and discouraged at times here. Hearing you tell us what it's like to OBE gives me the positivity boost I need. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome, for sure. And this is what this is all about. Is to build a community and for us to all know that we are in this together. Like we are not alone. Navigating this place here is it's tough. It's tough. And and especially once you do remember and you have this knowledge, it is important to share this. It is important to share this. Don't gatekeep it for personal gain like the secret societies have done for ages. Like, it is true that these things aren't intended for the masses, and especially in open environments like this, to be cautious of how we navigate this. But, for sure. But yeah, you're welcome. All right, question. Can I get out through a lucid dream? I'm lucid dreaming. I think I almost got out, but my thinking brain turned on and I woke up vibrating and pulling. Yeah, for sure. The lucid dream is definitely a doorway to the other side. Um, you know, it is, and it's probably it's the easiest and hardest ways. If you are able to lucid dream, yeah, coming out in a lucid dreams. I leave a lot of times in my dreams. Like some examples for like a 1 week period when I was training myself to leave my body, every day again. I would be in a dream and I would be on, like, if you ever been to an amusement park, the pirate ship ride that goes back and forth. Well, I was on one of those rides with my son in a dream, and I just felt my soul leaving my body on the ship, and I was out like that. But yeah, if you're lucid in a dream, 100% fully there and present, you want to bring yourself fully there in the dream, and then you can navigate and get out that way, just by commanding things. I actually am going over this in detail next week. Tips to help induce lucid dreams and to break out in there. I do have like a lot of great tips that I've been, listing down. For me to say them all here now, I don't have them all fresh in my mind right now, but yeah, yeah, that is a good way to access the other side. Yeah, and to think of this, you have to understand. To think of this fully, you have to understand that dreams are on the other side. I define the other side as the other side of the light spectrum, things that we cannot see here. Dreams are on the other side. In that aspect, you're just in your own space, and your soul's just on autopilot, creating subconscious thoughts playing out in the form of a dimensional space. You know, and that's all it is. And then from there, the only difference between that and a full-blown out-of-body experience is your awareness, your level of awareness. So then if you're able to bring your consciousness fully in that dream, then once you're lucid in the dream, you're still only about 50%. But then there's commands and things to bring your awareness fully into that dream. And then once you're 100% there in that dream, you will feel it. It will feel like a power up, like, whew, I'm really here. And then you can start. And then at that point, that is a full blown out of body experience. You're just in your own dimensional space. So then from there, it's just navigating outside of that and getting in base reality and then commanding where you want to go. I've been in dreams. I've been in one dream, and then I started becoming lucid and like waking up, and beings were talking to me, right? What did they look? I forget what they look like, but they were like advanced being, like in some robe like figures. They did appear human, but like very, very intelligent, right? And they were telling me some stuff, like put me on game. And then they found out like, oh, and then they were like, oh, wait, he's waking up. He's fully here, because I guess I stopped acting like I was on autopilot and like I was becoming lucid in the dream, bringing myself there. And they're like, all right, it's time for you to go. I'm like, all right, it's time for me to go. All right. But I'm like, well, shit, I'm here now. Like, I'm lucid. I'm not about to just go back to my body, you know? So I shifted from this dream to the other dream, to another dream, right? Just by changing my internal world. And I'll tell you guys how to do this, you know, in detail next week. But I just shifted my internal world, right? And I shifted from this dream to the next dream. And then I was like, all right, now I'm about to go back and show these guys like, like, you guys can't tell me what to do, you know, especially because once I shifted from that dream to the next dream, now I'm 100% lucid, just navigating things, right? And now I'm stepping into my ultimate authority, you know, like I'm really fully there, right? And then from this dream, I go back to the other dream, and the beings were like, what? How are you here? I'm like, yeah, I'm an uncontrollable soul. Like, you can't tell me it's time for me to go. Like, I'm here, you know? But yeah, and then that experience ended up ending. So I never went back there and finished understanding what they were telling me. But yeah, you can navigate the dream spaces. And oftentimes I found beings come to me in my dreams and give me information. A lot, yeah. Question: do we have to be in the dark? No, you don't have to be in the dark. No. Does it help? Sure. And again, it depends how you're trying to leave. Just yesterday, I took a nap at like 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I took a nap. I was just going to sleep. I wasn't trying to leave or anything. And then I feel as I'm falling asleep, I've trained my consciousness so much to the point that, you know, I just notice myself leaving like every time I go to sleep. You know, and I was just taking a nap, trying to take a nap because I was trained. Like, I've been going at it for days and days. So like I just was trying to sleep, but I caught myself leaving my body, and it felt like, oh, I was like, oh, the shift's coming. I was like, should I try it? And I was like, yeah, let me go with it a little bit. And then I feel my feet leaving, you know, and then I thought it was Lova behind me, yawning and things like that. You know, and I ended up not trying to go because I was really just trying to sleep, you know. But yeah, so you don't have to be in the dark. You can be in the day. You can do it anywhere. Does it help? Sure. And it also depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to shut your body down consciously and achieve through sleep paralysis, yeah, things like being in the dark will help. But also it doesn't. I have a whole presentation coming up in 2 weeks on doing this during the day. And the whole purpose of the lucid dream presentation and the out of body during the day presentation is because I feel like this removes a lot of fear. Because we're really afraid of the dark, really. You know, we're really afraid of the dark when experiencing these things. Because when you're doing this during the day, there's like no fear in you. There's just not. And that's actually what I'm doing this week is I'll be leaving my body, you know, throughout the day consistently throughout this next week. And I don't know if I want to say this publicly, but yeah, you don't have to be in the dark. And in fact, in 2 weeks, I'll have not next week, the week after, a presentation on how to leave during the day, the best techniques I've found, how to do it, what makes it the success rate higher, things like that. I found myself several times in sleep paralysis. Feeling was a bit unpleasant, so I panicked and stopped it all. I know I should have no fear, but any advice what exactly to do in that state? Yeah. So now that you've experienced it, now you are aware of what it feels like. So prepare yourself ahead of time for next time it happens. Now you know what it feels like, right? So now next time it happens, prepare yourself. Say, okay, if I feel this, what am I going to do? You know, and then there's affirmations you can say. There's all types of things that you can say and do to calm and relax yourself. But now the most thing is now you know what it feels like, so prepare. Now you know you can expect that. So now next time, okay, how are you going to handle it and things like that. You say all things are about to open up. Can I expand on what I've seen? My best estimate when this happens, and what's the first thing you'll do when it does? When it does, yeah. So these are things. This is a better question for in a closed setting, not on a live Q&A for the public. But I will say, based on the resets, and I didn't even get this out of my body. I was just, okay, resets are real. How do we know they're happened? I was out of my body. I did see that the planets and planetary alignments do help, and they do correlate to events happening here. And then based on that, based on Mayan predictions and things like that, I do have a year where if it didn't happen, it would be a reset. I do have a year for that. I'm not going to say that publicly, but I do have a year for that. But preparing for what is to come is very important. The first, what we all need to do is look around at our lives. Look around at our lives. Is your life congruent with that of when things open up? Is your life congruent? And this can be many ways. Is your relationships congruent? Is who you have around you congruent? Are these conversations open? Is your environment congruent with that? Is every aspect of your life congruent for when things open up? That's the most important thing that we all need to do to prepare. If on Fox News, if you've seen an alien on Fox News, government was like, this is real, what would you do? Probably not going to work the next day. It's just not important. So start living in things that are important. Start getting outside of this matrix and I'm not telling you guys not to go to work, but what I'm telling you is start freeing your mind from things of this matrix and preparing yourself for when it happens by reducing all attachments here and just trying to free yourself from this matrix as much as possible and tapping into the other side. That's the best thing to happen. And don't hold back. Like, I understand where this is coming from. You guys want real information, but you also have to understand that, like, this is a public thing on YouTube. Like, if you were, if you asked that in Beyond the Veil in one of our meetings or something, I probably would give you a lot more. I will say that. And does one's mood affect the type of OBE one has? Yeah, it can. It's not so much your mood, but it's your state of being. I guess it can be your mood. So an example is like if you're watching a scary movie before you try, chances are you're gonna leave, and that will be on your mind, and that's probably what you'll experience or see. Now everything is relative to the frequency of the observer. And outside of your body, this becomes apparent. Like, you can be somewhere and something may or may not open up or appear to you because you're not operating at the frequency to access that. Now, what is the highest frequency that will open up everything? Integrity and unconditional love. Not doing things from a human perspective. If you leave, if I leave my body and I access something, am I going to use that to come back to earth for personal gain? If that's my motive for it, I'm not going to be presented with it. That's out of integrity, but if I'm truly desiring to access this just for my own personal growth or just to help people, then I will, then it will open up to me. So like that's like the highest level that will open up most things to you, is that and unconditional love, but yeah though, that will help you open up everything. In your mood, it does. Like, you want to clear your field as much as possible. The other side, you're standing in your full divinity outside of everything. Like here, you can dress up and hide your mood, you can put on a fake smile. There, they're going to feel it, so being in a high state of vibration is definitively important. Yeah. Can you leave your body and not come back to the same life you left and go to a better version of yourself? No, it doesn't really work like that, guys. So I know all these theories and things in this space. Oh, parallel realities, timeline jumping, timeline shifting. It is possible to shift your timeline and jump, but it's not going to be like, it's not like what they like. This life that you are in now is the only one. This version that you are in right now is the only one. Now, are there other yous playing things out? Yes, but is it like a you that you can step in and come back and live? No, it's like if you're outside of your body and you're at a decision point, you're able to see, okay, if you did this, that's kind of what it would look like. If you did that, that's kind of what it would look like. That is possible. But this life that we are in now is it. So it's not really possible. Now, what is the best way I can explain this? No. So I would just say no. You cannot do that. But you can come back and change your life. So, and become the better version of yourself. Yeah. If angels or aliens come, should we not put them on a pedestal, as they are essentially us, just in different levels of consciousness in the game, and look at them as our brothers and sisters? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Don't idolize these guys. These guys are just beings, other beings that are consciously alive now. Don't idolize anybody in here. There is a form of hierarchy and level of knowledge and things in this construct. So like, as you move up in things, you will meet wiser beings and things. You can respect them, but don't idolize them here or outside of your body. Don't idolize anybody. I hate that. Especially when people start accessing the other side and they come back feeling all divine and people here put them on that shit is so corny and stupid. We're all the same outside of here, especially ETs. So don't idolize them. And from a human perspective, yeah, are they more advanced than us? Yeah, 100%. But outside of here, they're not, and that actually puts you in a state of inferiority. You see, that actually puts you in a state of inferiority because, oh, it's an advanced being. Oh, you are an advanced being. You are, you are. Like, I say this all the time. Like, if I seen a carpenter walking on water, I'd be like, oh, bet I'm about to fly. I'd be like, bet I'm about to fly. I'm about to walk through a wall. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like sit there and idolize that man. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, they're just in different. That's exactly how to view this whole thing. Even people that are here and they're very in tune and they have a lot of help, or they've accessed things, or they say they came here for their whole mission. You guys have to understand, they just weren't humans. They just weren't they were on the other side for a long time and then just decided to come here to be a human to help wake up the game. Like, that's it. And outside of here, we are all that. So it's not, so don't idolize anything outside of yourself, for sure. That's for sure. How to leave. How to leave, make it all secretive. Like, what's the big secret? That you lay still and hit sleep paralysis? or that you can feel your way and match the frequency and leave, like, sure, that's probably the biggest. But it does help. It does help to have, teachings. Like, it does help to have somebody guide you. It does help to say, okay, yeah, I can tell you that, but are you going to achieve it? No. And if I put it together in a whole presentation and I say, at this moment, you can experience this, that, it helps prepare you so much more. So I encourage everybody, like, really, if you're serious about this and you want some help, join Beyond the Veil. It will help you. It will help you if you're serious about achieving this. I will say that. But yeah, that's it. Other than that, there is information and things out there that, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. But, there are levels to this. There are certainly levels to this as well. Especially publicly, but like, if you're like in Beyond the Veil where we're growing and it's a safe knit community, like, I will tell you guys anything, like, in that, because it's just, things just aren't made for everybody to just be listening to, because we're all coming from different levels of consciousness. Do you think visualizing too much can be counterproductive? It depends. Like, it's all dependent on you. Like, if you want to visualize leaving, you can leave that way. You have to really find, well, I have a testimony being released. And in this testimony, he tells you everything that he worked through. He worked through his fear, how he was able to work through his fear, how he was able to try different techniques. You have to really find what works for you, and don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, because it's so much easier than you guys think. It's so much easier than you guys think. I'll say that. Is OBE like your intro? What's some cool stuff you do when you're not gathering data to bring back to us? Yeah, OBE can be like the intro. Yeah. Things open up, things just go. Some cool stuff to do. Honestly, anytime you're out of your body, it's gonna be a fun time. I don't like, my whole purpose is to gather information and things like that. That's just because, like, that's how I am. Like, that's just who I am. But like, flying is cool. You can do so many things. You can do so many things. And honestly, as soon as you're outside of your physical body and you leave this physical world behind, everything is fun. You're now experiencing yourself with no borders, boundaries, or limitations. And in that moment, you can do anything. Every possibility, anything that you can imagine now becomes a possibility. Anything. So in that aspect, you can do, and if you can think of it, you can do it. So, and that's just a personal thing for you. Like, what do you like? What do you want to experience? Anything that you can think of, you can do and experience. Damn near in any realm. I mean, you can navigate here. And most people that were astral projecting and things for a long time, most things that people were, when they were astral, they were just around here. Like, they didn't even know that higher realms existed or nothing like that. So most of those astral projection stories that you hear about people exist around here. And then sometimes, they get taken to ETs and the galactic realm and things like that. But they weren't really going to these higher places. Like, I would have never even, the only reason why I was like, yo, I'm going to heaven was because I knew it existed. Somebody else had been there and they told me it was a real place. So I'm like, oh, bad. That's where I'm about to go. Like I want to see what that's about. But like, if I didn't know, so knowing about things, knowing what you can do and where to go is very important, but you can experience anything that you think of, you can experience. And that's just more of a personal question. What do you like? I like just being out on my soul. Some people like flying. I don't. Flying's not really that big of a thing to me. It kind of feels regular. Like, it's the same thing as like walking, really. Flying, like, okay, cool. But it's, I like getting information. Like, what wows me is information. That's like what wows me is like information and figuring out stuff like, oh, that's crazy. That's how that works. Or like meeting other beings. And like, that's what wows me. But it's just all up to you. And if you can think of it, you can do it. The moment that you step outside of this physical body and you return back to the eternal aspect of yourself, man, that will be the greatest moment ever that you will ever experience. You are completely free. Even walking down your stairs is fun. Man, I'm telling you, like when you're outside of your body, you can just walk down. You're like, damn, that's easy. That's mad easy. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. Let me slide down here. Let me pop back up there. Open up your fridge. Look at your fridge. Everything is fun, man. Looking at yourself in the mirror is crazy. Try that. Try to change your physical appearance. I went to my bathroom one time and my toilet was in the wrong place. And I'm like, oh, damn. And it was lighting up. I'm like, oh, damn. I wonder what's in my toilet. So I go over there, like I look inside. I'm like, yo, is this where I'm supposed to go or supposed to look? And I look in there and it was nothing. So I'm like, oh, I don't know why that was lit up, but whatever. Literally every single thing is fun, especially in the beginning, man. In time, it gets, it gets regular, for me anyways. It feels a little regular, like flying and stuff, but literally everything is fun. Everything is fun, man. You can try to walk through a wall for the first time, feeling that is fun. Walking down your neighborhood, just looking at stuff, because things are different. Being in your room, looking at your room, it's like, oh, damn, that looks a little different. Like, what's going on there? Playing with energy. It's like you're a kid again. It's like you're a kid again, stepping back to the eternal aspect of yourself on the other side. Re-experiencing your divinity again for the first time. Like, it's such a fun thing. It's such a fun thing. It really is. But yeah, I'll say that. Is it better to listen to binaural beats while trying or complete silence? That's dependent on you and what method you're trying to do. Like, just yesterday, I was taking a nap. I didn't listen to anything. I felt the sensation of leaving and I was leaving. Same thing last night. Now I didn't go because I had this live and I didn't want to come talking to you guys operating on that high of a level, because like I come back different. Like, I come back different. I don't know if I want to present myself like that, publicly, because humans are a little judgmental, you could say. But it's completely up to you. If you are trying to consciously induce this, it also depends on how you're trying, because there's more than one way to leave your body. Like, how are you trying? If you're trying to consciously induce sleep paralysis, sure, binaural beats will help. Sure, binaural beats will help. Because that's part of it, is shutting your brain down. And binaural beats is great because you connect your left and right hemispheres. It makes your brain operate on the same frequency, and it forces you, especially if you're listening to 4 hertz binaural beats, it will force your brain to operate in a 4 hertz binaural beat. So like, that helps. But it's all dependent on you. If you're listening and you're feeling like it's messing you up and you're not able to relax, then don't use them. It's all dependent. Everything is just a tool. The number one thing that is going to carry you and allow you to access the other side is your desire to do so. Do you truly desire to go there? If you truly desire to access the other side, and it is the most important thing to you, you will. If you act like you will, like that's it. That's really the number one thing that's going to help you. Anything outside of that is just a tool. It's just a tool. So when we remember everything, will the ETs remember as well? Yeah, everything will open up. Yeah. Everything will open up. Have you seen beings that have glowing red eyes? If so, what makes them glow? Yeah. Just their inner light, I would say. I mean, glowing red eyes, that's a little specific. I mean, there's all types of beings, so like you can really see anything, but you can the one place where I did see this was like in realm 8 in the seraphim realm. There was like this white, like hooded like being, and her eyes like glowed like red, and it was just from like her inner light. Like it's just how they are. I don't know like what really makes them glow, but there's all types of things, there's all types of things that you can see and experience. So many different types of beings in soul form, in physical bodies. There's so much. But yeah, I don't know what really makes them glow. Can I please create AI generated videos or pictures of what I've seen on the other side? Yeah, actually, I just got that. I actually just got an AI software, so I can start doing that. Yeah, so you guys will start seeing that. Yeah, I probably would test it out and release that and beyond the veil first, but I for sure will do some for YouTube as well. I'm playing with it, trying to see how it works and trying to make them accurate and things like that. But yeah, I actually just got some, so yeah, I can. Cryptids. Somebody asked me this last week. I don't know what you guys mean by cryptids. Yeah, I don't know. All right, hold on, guys, one sec. All right. Yeah, I don't know what cryptids are. Somebody in the comment can. It's like chupacabra or Bigfoot or Mothman, beings like that. Yo, yeah, for sure. The theory of Bigfoot. Yeah, like all these theories and stories are true, guys. They're all true. I remember like growing up, my family was real big on Bigfoot. They're like, I know he's real. I know he's real. Yeah. Yeah. All these stories and myths are true. They're all true. Hi, Andrea. I saw a video of a lady who had an NDE and she said she saw people in pods like they were trapped and being tricked. Do you know what she's talking about? I know some beings are in pods. I have seen some. Now, how can I put this? like they were trapped and being tricked. I don't know if it's that, if that they were trapped and being tricked, because I don't know, a lot of people with near-death experiences, like they don't know what's really going on. They're only describing their experiences and their feelings, which are 100% real and legit, right? But when you're trying to get information about like what the other side is or how it operates, listening to them, it's not really going to be that. Like I would go to an out-of-body experiencer for like really what's going on, because they're just not educated on the other side. It's just like you're just a human, and then boom, now you're on the other side. You just died, and now you're on the other side experiencing things. So and they may have a lot of fear-based narratives around their experience. You know what I mean? They may have a lot of fear-based narratives around their experience. So that may be why they are getting this negative feeling towards it. It could be because their perception of it is off. Because their perception of it is off. You see? Now, I have seen beings in pods, but I know that they were there 100%. I know that they were there 100% on their free will. You know, like people that I talk to that I trust that have had out-of-body experiences, they've had out-of-body and seen themselves in a pod. Now, what's really going on there is, I believe, those are the beings that station themselves in pods. These are higher beings, higher realm beings, you see? And then they put themselves in a pod and they transfer their consciousness here for this mission. And then once things wake up, they'll go back to their original bodies and they'll be here. That's really what's going on there. And to me, I mean, that makes perfect sense, because it would make sense that an advanced being like that is in the out-of-body community. You know, like probably wouldn't be, you know, a janitor or something, you know, probably would be in the out-of-body community or something like that. So that makes sense that's why they see themselves in the pods, because it is them and they're here to help. And as soon as they wake up and remember fully and truly who they are, because you guys also have to understand there's levels to out-of-body experiences. Yes, your thoughts and memories do come back, and the more and more you're there on the other side, the more and more you know, the more and more you will remember who you are. The farther back you go, the more serious you take this, the more and more you will know and remember and wake up. And once you wake up to your full divinity and remember who you truly are, the game changes. The game completely changes. All right, this is getting a little off topic for this question, but yeah, I would say it's more probably perception based. But am I going to say that there's no way that beings were in pods being trapped and tricked? No, it's a possibility. But my best guess would be, because I don't know, I haven't seen that experience, or it wasn't my experience. But my best guess would be that, especially if it's a near-death experience, would be that her or their perception changed the feeling of what they seen. You know, because if you're scared and you're operating in fear, you can even see a seraphim and be like, "Oh, you're the Grim Reaper, bro! Like, get out of here!" You know. So yeah, I would say that. Would you say the best way to help the world is to raise our own frequency? Yeah. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see. What are you waiting for? You see, I got a video coming out tomorrow about 5D and the new earth, explaining the states of being and how it all starts with you, right? It all starts with each and every one of us, right? Because we can think of this as like, this reality is layered, right? We are on one layer, we are on the lowest layer, and all the other layers have a higher frequency, a higher rate of vibration than us, you see? So in order for this place to fully rise, everybody's conscious, not everybody's, but the majority of our consciousness and our vibration must rise. And then once this happens, the blending of the realms will take place and things will open up. It has to, you see. So, like, yeah, for sure. The best way to help the world is to raise your own frequency and be the change you wish to see. Move in love, move in integrity, and be the change that you wish to see. You know, it starts with you. It starts with all of us. Each and every one of us is that's where the change really starts, because we are all here. We are all here for a job. Majority of, especially if you're watching this, like, once you guys remember who you truly are and activate, you will. I'm telling you guys. But yeah, the best thing to do is to raise your own frequency. Yeah. What is the source of source itself? If that is the final level, the void, I'm just trying to understand how the source come to be and can it be destroyed? All right. These trying to understand these things from a human perspective is a little difficult, but I will do my best to help you guys make sense of this. Now, is the void source? No, the void is not source. I don't know what he said about, but it is not. Now, the void is the closest thing to source. It is the closest thing to source, but is it source itself? No, it is not source itself. Now, once you are outside of here, these concepts are human terms because we cannot exist. Things can die here. This is probably the best way to explain this to you. Okay, things can die here. That's why we have the even the thought of something not existing. Is because things can die off from this reality and disappear from this reality. But that's also how you know this is the fake world, because on the other side, nothing can ever disappear. If you exist, you always exist. The law of conservation of energy, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. That is a law of everything. So source can never be destroyed. Your soul can never be destroyed. You can never be destroyed. The fact that things die here is weird. We think that that's normal. That, oh, you have a life and you die. Plants die. That's not normal. That only happens here. And this is the smallest part of all of creation is here. Everything else in all of creation, you're not dying. Nothing is. And it's just an illusion of death. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. That is a universal law of all things. So to exist means you exist. If you ever existed, you will always exist. Maybe not in this human form, but you will always exist. You see. I hope that helps clear things up the best I can. Now, how did source come to be? Now, in that same aspect where I said, in the same aspect where I just said, nothing can neither be created. It just always existed, man. It just always is. And how this feels like when, like, I've remembered my first thought, how this feels like. Now, this is not it, but I'm just saying what it feels like and how I made sense of it when I came back from human terms. What this feels like is far back as you can remember, as any soul can remember, we have just always existed. Like, that's one way that you can think of it in your human mind. But then also that adds a contradiction because, okay, well, what happened before we remembered? But there is none of that, because as long as creation existed, we have been around. And there is no real beginning. But that's kind of what it feels like, if that makes sense. That's kind of like what the beginning feels like. It's just like as far back as like we can remember. To put my experience in human terms, like that's the best way I can describe it. I hope that helps. I hope that helps understand. And yeah, guys, I see United Soul Warriors is big on the likes and thumbs up. Yeah, if you guys like this, that helps. I mean, if you guys want to help and be a part of this, help spread the truth. Doing things like liking a video helps spread the truth. And that's free. It's free to like it. But yeah, I'd appreciate that. But yeah. Timbo, what's the golden white realm I went to my last OBE? Sounds like heaven. It had all the joy and acceptance that permeated everything. Spoke to a light being, but I can't remember the content of the conversation. Yes, yeah, that's a good one. So the golden white realm is typically heaven, right? Now, could you be been somewhere else? Yes, this was not my experience. I don't want to front load anything, but you're asking this, so you're seeking guidance. So I will tell you what I believe this could have been. But if it doesn't resonate with you, throw it away, right? Because you are the ultimate decision maker, and this was your experience. So if what I'm about to tell you does not resonate with you, throw it out, right? But from my experiences, the golden white realm, that's like the template of heaven. Now, when you look at as the realms go higher, it's like they have more light in them. I'll explain to why the golden white realm is like the heavenly realm. As you go higher in the realms, things look different. Like as you accessing more light, things look different. Like here, the template is like green and like it has a certain, we have different colors, but there's like a certain theme to this color. Like we only see a certain spectrum of the visible light spectrum, right? Now, as you go higher to realm 2, it widens a little bit. And like realm 2 has like this dark gray blue type of look. There's different colors there as well. But the overall theme is like compared to this is like a blue, like grayish, like hue type of look. Now in heaven, everything is like white and gold. Like that's just the theme of it. Now there's different colors there as well, but the overall theme is going to be like this white and gold type theme. And yeah, when you speak to these beings, sometimes you can't remember the content of the conversation because the feeling of the experience itself is so overwhelming. Like you're already out of your body, which is freaking amazing. You're just running around like, oh, what's going on? What's this? What's that? And then especially when you get hit with a lot of information, it will be like it's hard to understand it, like especially when you get hit with a lot of information. But as you grow up, or not grow up, but as you develop a little bit more and unpack the experience, you will remember those things that you were told in previous out-of-body experiences. I will say that. I hope that helps, my friend. When everything opens up within this construct, will we all start to remember everything, or will it be a slow process in remembering things? Everything's gradual here because, we'll fry people out. This is why we're doing this in stages. This is why the first step is telling you guys that other beings are here, especially in these physical bodies. Are you going to remember everything? No, it will fry these physical bodies out, but you will remember quite a bit. And, just to not fry people out, because even when you die, like if you're not prepared to free your mind or free yourself, like you won't access everything again. So yeah, I will say that. Do you know why someone might not remember an NDE? Did I hate my life review? So that's a good question. So I've passed away too. I've been dead before, and I didn't remember it at the time. But after I had out of body experiences, I remembered it. It's just because the goal of this thing is not to remember. So unless you're very present in it and you're like, no, I want to remember this, not everybody does. But you will come back feeling different about life oftentimes. So you will remember it in that way, but do you remember everything? No, because it may have been too much for you to remember to bring back here. You know, what you were shown or what was going on. It just may have been too much. I wouldn't say you hated your life review. Uh, but and you can remember it. You know, if you have an out of body now, you can it will start to trigger it for you. Like that's what happened for me. Yeah, I didn't remember when I was gone either at first. Question: can you sing the songs we have here on Earth on the other side? Do we get better singing voices? Yeah. Lova's a singer. She was a Danish. She doesn't like me to say this, but she really was like a Danish pop star in her younger days, and she sings in the she sings in the out of body experience, and she actually recommends you guys to do that. She says the voice is amazing and things like that. So yeah, you can. She says it's an amazing experience. I haven't sang. It's just singing just isn't really my thing, you know. But you can for sure. Question: if reincarnation stops because people are waking up, is it going to be a soul shortage? People are going to be born without souls? No, no, that wouldn't happen because people want to come here. People from the other side want to come here. It's weird. People that are here are like, nah, I don't want to go. like this, I'm done. I'm going back to the other side. But everybody on the other side wants to come here. So reincarnation isn't even a thing. It isn't even necessarily bad because you are growing and developing through every experience. It's just bad in the aspect that if you're tricked and you're doing it to harvest energy and things like that, and you don't really know your own divinity, hell yeah, like everybody here needs to go up and make the conscious decision themselves and know that they have a choice to go or come back. Like that for sure needs to happen and take place. That's why conversations like these are so important. But no, it would never be a shortage, and people won't be born here without souls because people on the other side want to come in, especially to help combat things like reincarnation and these false fear-based narratives. People want to come in and help. So yeah, people definitely want to come. People definitely want to come. But how are you guys feeling? Do you guys want to keep this going for a little bit? Drop it in the comments if you guys want to keep this going. I can keep this going for a little bit longer if you guys are here. Um, yeah, if you guys are here, we can keep this going. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll keep this going. Just give me a second. Give me a couple minutes. We'll come back at the top of the hour and we'll keep this going. All right. Another 5 or 6 minute break. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for bearing with me for that brief break. And it is good when we come together as a collective like this. It raises the frequency of this place and puts us all on the same frequency of truth, right? Especially in the world that we are in. These things do help. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. Well, yeah, let's keep this going. We can get some more questions here. Are people still in here? Oh yeah. All right. We will be in the other side without loved ones. No, your loved ones never go away. This is a misconception here. Your loved ones never go away. And oftentimes when you leave, you will be greeted by your loved ones. Now, there are instances where that doesn't happen initially, like if it's not your real time to go or something like that, or if you're put yourself in a box. But eventually we all go back to it. Yeah, your loved ones will still be there to greet you and meet you. They're never gone. I just did a presentation, what was this, last week or 2 weeks ago, on how to contact your deceased loved ones here in the physical. You can contact them here in the physical, and you can leave your body and see them physically again, here and now. So yeah, I just did a presentation on how to do that in ways that it's happened for me, and ways that I've accessed my mom here in the physical and everything. So yeah. 𝗕𝗲𝗘 just did a super chat. Sorry if I butchered your name. My apologies. Appreciate you and everyone here. Sending my love to all. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, guys, and I turn off ads for this too. So like, if you guys don't have YouTube Premium, like, you're not gonna get hit with an ad during this. I turn all that off. So just want to say that for you guys. But yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate that. When the solar flash shifts the planet, will the people with the higher frequency and the ones with lower frequencies will no longer be able to see or interact with each other? All right. So the frequency of this place does change. Now, you will still be able to see and interact with each other. And I get into this in the video that's being released tomorrow. But what happens is resonance, right? So when you're operating on a high frequency, and these things all just make it easier for us to access our divine. So like, when she's referring to the solar flash shifts the planet, is it going to be a huge shift or anything like that? No, but there are certain events here that do allow more frequency, more light, and more information to come in. And I was actually shown how this works. December of last year, I was actually shown like, oh, things start to open up, more light, more frequency comes in. It's kind of hard to explain, but what this does is it allows us to tap into more frequency, more truth, easier here in the physical. It's like this whole place gets an upgrade, and it's easier to raise your frequency. But what this will look like is those with higher frequency, it happens now. You just won't resonate with those on the low frequency. Like, when people get into these fear-based narratives, like what's going on here in the world, I'm so withdrawn from that. Like, I don't pay attention. Like, what's the news? Oh, what's going to happen? AI is taking over the world. All those narratives, like, I don't even feed into that. You will know if AI took over the world, like, you would know. All that does is it just puts it into your field, into your frequency, right? Into your field. All these fear-based narratives, it just puts it into your thought, and then you start operating on that, and then you start thinking about it, and then the fear exists in your mind. It doesn't even exist here. Your life stays the same. It's not, it's just your idea or your concept of it that brings the fear, But what happens is you just don't resonate with them, and you will seek more and more things. Like a person that's operating on a high frequency will not resonate with a person operating on a low frequency, and it will look like you just won't interact with them. That's more so what it looks like. But you can still see them. It's not going to be a shift like, okay, some of us shift here and the others are here, and we're operating on a whole new different type of reality. It's not like that. It's like an internal shift for each and every one of us. It's more like that. Nobody's getting left behind. I hope that answers your question. Have I ever done sky watching? It's where you are outside at night and ask orb souls to manifest. I've seen orbs and big single flashes when I've asked for signs. Yeah, I have done that. Me and Lova used to do that a lot, actually. We did that in the desert. In Egypt. We sat out in the desert one night, laid down, looked at the stars, and I was teaching her how to communicate with ETs. And they would come, and you'd see them in the sky flying around. I've done that many times. Get in a channeled state, connect with them and show them where you are and ask for a sign, and they'll come. I've done that many times. Yeah. Even when we were in Denmark, looking up at the sky, seeing signs and things like that. Yeah. And these are just little things, cool things that like I do to people to show them like, yeah, this is real. Like look right there, give me a little bit of time and you'll see it. Those are just cool little things that I do sometimes for people that are in my presence to show them that like this is real. Yeah. If you have ideal conditions and full belief, is it possible for the physical body to live forever? Yeah. Now, forever, I don't know. Forever is a crazy term, right? Talking about for all of eternity. I don't know, but for extended a period of time, yeah. Would you even want to stay in a human body, in this physical human body forever? Probably not. For all of eternity, no. But for a lot longer than we do, yeah, 100%, just through belief and ideal conditions. Like, what are you guys doing now? All right, an example of this is look at a TV show from a while ago, like in the 90s. A 40-year-old would look really old, right? I'm damn near almost 40. In like 7 years, I'll be 40. You know what I mean? Like I look young still, and it's already happening. And back in the day, there was more oxygen in this place, and we weren't bombarded with the attack on the body and things like that. We were living longer. And so if you do these things now, if you don't eat as much, try to eat once a day, allow your body to break it down. If you don't eat as much, if you eat high vibrational foods, particularly like a vegan-based diet, a fruit-based diet, your body will start to heal itself and think like it. You'll be surprised at eliminating food, how much that alone helps your physical body. And then from there, do things like take Masterpiece, eliminate the heavy metals from your body, doing things like that. And then along with your belief and knowing and understanding, you can heal your physical body from all elements just through your belief system, guys. The placebo effect is real. Oh, Proud got the, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, you can detox yourself with Masterpiece, and this isn't promotion. Like these things just really help. Like I take it just to help detox myself. I also eat once a day. Now, an example of this is I just had a big meal yesterday. I had a very big meal. Now, today, I'm probably not going to eat all day today. I'll just be drinking coconut water all day And when I drink coconut water, it doesn't even give me the sensation of hunger. You see? And then and then if I just don't eat today, then tomorrow when I eat, I'll already be at a 48-hour fast because I eat once a day. So like for me, all I have to do is skip one meal and boom, I'm already at 48 hours. Now, if I really want to do it, I can skip 2 meals and be at 72 hours very easily. And when I fast, I still drink coconut water just because I stopped doing the salt water as much. Coconut water, if you have access to fresh coconut water, that's the best thing to do. If you don't have access to fresh coconut water, like I'm not talking going to the store and buying those containers of coconut water. I'm talking about real fresh coconut water, fresh from the coconut. You see, I'm talking like that. If you do that, that's probably the best thing for you to drink. And I drink that, when I'm fasting and things like that. But yeah, you can essentially, extend things and heal yourself here. But like living for eternity in these physical bodies, like, do you even want to do that? I wouldn't, but yeah. Have any of the beings you've talked to shared with you a relative timeline on when we will get big deal disclosure? Yeah. So when I'm shown these things out of my body, it's not like I get specific. Sometimes I do get specific dates, but when they tell me specific dates and then it comes, it's never like a real big thing. So like I never come out and tell you guys like, oh, on this date this is gonna happen, because they never really seem like big things. So like people will be like, oh, Andre, like what are you talking about? Like nothing happened, so I'm not gonna do that. But what I will say is everything that I have seen, it seems as like when they tell me things and present things to me, I get the overall feeling that like it's happening now, like right now. Now, have I received a date when everything is going to open up and, this is when the ET is going to be presented on Fox News and speak to it? No, I haven't seen a date like that. But what I have been shown is that these things are happening now. And that's why the title of this was to prepare for what is coming. It is happening now. I actually just watched the Disclosure Day movie the other day in Bali too, and it was cheap, like $4 tickets. It was like $4 for a ticket too. It was insane. But and I got emotional during that, like tears were in my eyes, because it is happening and it is happening now, and we are gearing up towards it, and they have to prepare everybody for it. People that your grandmother who doesn't even think in these terms, they have to prepare everybody for it so it doesn't break them or cause mass hysteria, right? And this is something that is going to happen. This is something that is going to happen beyond a shadow of a doubt. And every message that I get regarding this is like it's happening now, like right now. Like I get the sensation like it's happening now. So I say that to say, like, I think this year will be the year that we start to see things progressing. And if I had to put a time on it, I would say next year would be the year that, ETs come out and they're real. And I don't even think they're just going to present the human looking ETs to us. I think they're going to present an actual freaking being, like an actual ET looking ET to us, like next year. Yeah. So do we have free will on the other side like we do here, or are we in a state of unconditional love? Yeah, we all have free will at all times. You move more godlike and more in tune and selfless on the other side. Some people are the same through and through. Some people just want to have fun and but especially you guys, watching this, you guys are, chances are each and every one of you are advanced souls that are here for an important mission to wake up and to remember. That's why you're drawn to these things. That's why when I speak, it resonates with you. That's why you get goosebumps and things like that. Your DNA is activating to the truth. So especially a lot of you guys are going to move more God-like on the other side. Selfless, because there is no personal gain on the other side. Like there's no reason for things like that. So moving in a state of unconditional love is a lot more easy and a lot more natural in that aspect, you see. Yeah, so I will say that. But yeah, free will is still a thing. You're still yourself. I have many aspects of me based on my many experiences. Sometimes I like to have fun. That's a part of me. Sometimes I like certain things here, you see, like especially from this life, growing up, and growing up in the Black community in America, in a poor country. I like some hood things, still. But I also, the other side of me is I like knowledge. Like that is relevant throughout everything. It's like I love knowledge and learning and helping people. So like that's probably the biggest side to me. So it all depends individually too, like what you are on the other side. But there's infinite numbers. More often than not, you are you, just more incomplete. You are more just you complete. All aspects, all aspects, Yeah. How do you manage to live here after knowing who you really are? What difficulties are you facing? Yeah, so there was layers to this. Like before I started YouTube last year, I was going through it, being here, battling things, going to work every day, knowing the truth. Because at that time, I was leaving my body like every other day, like all the time, getting information and things. And I was like, I don't even want to be here anymore. I don't even want to be here anymore. And then in and out of body, being was like, well, then don't. But remember why you came. Boom. And then, that's when I started my YouTube last year. And then that gave me purpose, was to come here and help other people, because that's why I came, was to fulfill the mission, right? We have been in the midst of spiritual warfare for far too long. And it's time we wake up and fight back. And then when you do it from that aspect, you want to be here to help. Because if you don't, if I didn't and I gave up on the other side, I would have immense regret and pain. So that this is why I am here, is to do this with you guys and help you guys. And you guys see it. Like I went all in. Like, this is it. This is my life, is to stay here and to help you guys and things like that. So that's what I was facing. Now I don't really face any difficulty. Like I can leave and go back there at any time, and have an experience. So like I'm not really facing anything. It's not hard for me to be here now. But before I started stepping and walking into my path, it was difficult. But then once you remember who you are and why you're here, it becomes strictly business. Like not business, like I mean, like you're gonna do what you came here to do. Like business, like I'm about my, like I'm not taking no chances here. I'm waking up every day doing this. Like, I mean, it's business like that. Like I'm not playing no games here. I'm helping do my part in waking up the collective. So, yeah. But for everybody, just knowing that the other side is possible makes it so much easier to be here. Knowing that the other side is real, knowing that you are the creator of your reality, and then start playing with stuff. Like if you're unhappy about your life, manifestation is real. This is a real thing. Law of attraction, and attract, right? attract things into your life vibrating at a certain frequency, and things come in, and apply that with action. Those things are real. So if you're not happy, you can change it and start playing with that. Then life will become fun. And it takes a little bit of time to start seeing results and things, but lock in for 6 months. If you lock in for 6 months, blocking out everything and focusing on your goals, you will accomplish them. How bad do you want something? You can change your whole life in 6 months. I've done it. You can change your whole life in 6 months. So if that's the aspect, just work on changing your life, because if the other side is real, what else is real? Manifestation, law of attraction, everything's frequency, energy, and vibration. All of those other things are real too. So then you can start doing those things here, and you can unlock abilities here. Practice telekinesis, practice your telepathy, practice harnessing your chi energy, practice making things move with your body. Try to levitate, like those things are real, and it's going to become a time and place when a lot of people are doing these things. People are doing these things now. They're just not known in the public. You see, like there's tons of people that you just don't know that are really tapped in and really doing these things, and we all can. So like it becomes fun in that aspect as well. Yeah. And it's fun when you reach a certain frequency and you start moving at a certain frequency here, you'll attract other people also moving at that frequency, and your life will change. Your outer world will start to change. Yeah. Can you be out of body for hours? You can be. All right. So yeah, this is a good question. There are different aspects to this too. So you can be out of body for the illusion of what appears to be hours. And when I say the illusion of what appears to be hours, I mean you can download and receive the information. When you can be out and receive the amount of information that feels like, wow, I was here for hours. I was here for weeks. I was here for months. Now, physically, realm one time, like, is your body going to be shut down and sleeping while you are out for hours? That I don't know, but also that's also not necessary, because I can be out of my body in a 1 to 2 or 3 or 4 minutes realm one time, but have an experience that feels like months on the other side, you see, and then come back and only a couple minutes pass. So it's not really necessary for you to be out that long, because as soon as you step out of time, it doesn't really matter, right? As soon as you step out of time, it doesn't really matter. So like you can leave your body for 30 seconds, a minute, and once you go to the other side, you can be gone for what feels like a long, long, long time. So in that aspect, yeah. But I remember reading in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, he had like some commands or something to stay out for like 6 hours or something like that. But like once you understand, and that confused me. I was like, damn, so I'd be out. But once you understand like what it really is, it doesn't matter. So like even if I'm outside of my body for 2 minutes, the way we calculate time here, it can feel like I'm out for months. So that it doesn't really matter in that aspect. I hope that helps you. Is the inner earth considered a layer? Yeah, so I have never been to inner earth. I don't know where those theories come from. That may be another misconception. My understanding from everything that I know is that as you go back in time, things are buried here. So like the realm 3 time is buried. There's a mass war, mass destruction, things are buried. And an example of this is you go to Egypt, the pyramids sit on top of a hill. Underneath there is a larger structure. This is also known as the halls of Amenti, right? It is buried. Now, the theory of inner earth can come from, as you are outside of your body and you go there, you are physically under this physical earth layer. And then you go under there and there's things living and things like that. But What's really going on is you just step back to that time period where physically the base layer is lower. You see, like, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly or not, but like, is there actual inner earth beings? I haven't seen that, but what I have seen is there's civilizations in the oceans. I've seen that, and I know those are really here and really there. But is it inner earth the way the theories and narratives talk about it? I don't believe it's that. I just haven't experienced that yet, so. And I've seen and navigated this place quite often. So I don't think it's the way that they say it is. Oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I hope this helps you. What are your thoughts on plasmoids? I have a memory as a child of being suddenly connected and a part of this blob thing. It was like a heartbeat. It was in a trauma moment. I don't necessarily know what you mean by plasmoids. I have a memory as a child of being suddenly connected and a part of this blob thing. I don't know, but your feeling of that is exactly what it is. If that's what you felt and that's what you experienced, I probably would say that's what it is. For sure. But yeah, I don't necessarily know what plasmoids are. Can we travel to an alternate reality of ours during astral travel? Say a reality where we play in the NFL or NBA or a musician? Yeah, so alternate realities don't really exist like that. From my experience, there are different versions of you. So it's like this. So say you're at a decision point in your life. You can go this way or you can go that way. You choose to go this way. There will be a version of you temporarily playing this out this way. Now, the longer that you thought about this decision, the longer this event would play out for. But it's also not you. It's also just like an autopilot version of you, because this is the one that you consciously chose. So this is it. Now, is there a version of you that's playing NBA from this life? That's not really a thing. It's just not, it just doesn't really work like that. Now, you can create that to experience it for yourself, but it wouldn't be like this life. It would be like more of like a thought form creation, like a dream like type of creation for you. I hope that helps you to understand. If everything will open up soon, what was the benefits of learning OB and join beyond the veil beforehand? So you can experience this for yourself, and it is annoying. This is not a passive thing. It takes a collective to wake up and to do this. So if you just want to wait around and wait for it to happen, it's going to slow it up. That's going to slow the process up, especially if you're watching something like this. If you're drawn to something like this, and this is probably what you're supposed to be doing to help assist this. If you want to wait around and be passive, you're actually going to hurt us. If you don't want to get active in the awakening, if you don't want to remember yourself and raise your vibration, that's going to hurt us. It's going to slow things up. So getting active and helping with this is the number one way to help bring this on. Especially if you guys are watching this, help. Remember yourself, and the number one way to help is to raise your own vibration and step in from the belief to the knowing. Understand that you are an uncontrollable soul. Understand that you are your ultimate authority, and then act like it around here and embody that around everybody. And then your vibration will begin to raise the vibration of those around you. And the out-of-body experience is the most direct way to experience this and turn your belief into a knowing, because now you step back into your divinity, into the eternal aspect of yourself 100%. Now there is no doubt within you. You see? And then you can even remember your mission. Like, don't you want to help? Like, don't you want to help? Get out, leave your body, figure out why you're here, who you are, and why you're here. Remember who you are. So then when things do open up, you remember your divinity. Now you're one of the people to help aid in this, So yeah, that's the benefit of this. It's just because things are going to open up, don't just not do anything and just wait for it. That actually hurts it, a lot more than it would help. I hope that helps you understand the purpose of it. I hope that helps. In an interview recently, you said you had to get over some physical temptations or something like that in the OP state. Yeah. So, yeah, I just realized in and out of body, I realized I was like, okay, so once you're free and outside of here, you can do anything that you want. And it's a lot more impulsive than you think. Like here, when you have an impulse or you want to do something, it goes through layers. You're going to think like, well, is this really a good idea? Should I do this? Should I not? But in an out of body experience, you're in your soul form. You're just going to go do that. So like in that experience, oh, my ears are ringing now. So in an experience, I went to go do whatever impulse that like I had. And I was like, I don't want this. Like, I got to fix this. So just meditation, figuring out the root cause of what it is and fixing that and being honest with yourself, being honest with yourself. Like, do you really want that? And if so, why? And for me, it was more so like deep down, honestly, like deep down when I was out, like, yeah, I wanted to access all these things. I wanted to go to the halls of amenity. I wanted to get knowledge and get access. But like deep down, I really wanted to go out and do that. Like deep down, that's what I really wanted to do. So then I just thought about it and I was like, do I really want that? And just be honest with yourself, because you can't fake it. Like, you can't fake it. So just being honest with yourself and just doing a real self-assessment, and just making the conscious decision to kill that desire, and then when you're out, you'll realize that it's gone. That's kind of what it did for me. It was more so like I just was like, all right, I need to kill this, and I just did it. It was more so like that. Like, it wasn't necessarily like I just was like, all right, I need to kill this, and I did. If I thought about that more, I'd probably be able to tell you exactly what I did, but it's tough, being on a live and on the spot, trying to go back to all of your memories and things. Like, that was like 3 years ago for me. So to remember that fully, it's a little tough on the spot, but I hope that helps. Who were the ones who created Earth Realm? So from my understanding is, every realm is a reflection of a particular being of a particular frequency. And realm 1 is made in the image of realm 2. Realm 2 is made in the image of realm 3. Realm 3 is made in the image of realm 4. Those are things that I know for sure. And each realm has a certain template, a certain frequency based on the being that was together collectively in here. Those are things that I know for sure. And then as you get into here and like the human perspective, things get a little weird, because then it's like, well, if this happened, how is this true? And two things can be true at the same time. Duality only exists here. So we have to understand that as well. On the other side, two things can be true at the same time. I hope that helps, my friend. Is there any physical object we need to buy to prepare for what's to happen in the so-called future? No, there's nothing that you need to buy. The only thing that you need to do to prepare for what is coming is to change your internal frequency and vibration, to free your mind from all debilitating states of fear-based narratives. Freeing your mind, raising your vibration, raising your frequency, being the being that you would see yourself being on this new earth. That is the number one thing to help you to prepare for what is to come and open up your mind. Start breaking free from, okay, this is base reality. Work is the number one priority and things like it's not. Money is not important. Money is not important, guys. You need it to live now. Yeah, sure. But it's not the most important thing that you can do is working on yourself here and freeing yourself from all physical attachments and things like that. That will help. That will help. What is realm 7 and who controls it? Yeah, so who controls it? It's not really, that's not really the type of question for that, but in realm 7, you will see like angels, like it will be like exactly like the way they depict them, like with wings. You'll see winged beings full of love, like those images of winged beings playing harps and stuff. Like those are real and they come from somewhere, and that's where they come from. That would be like realm 7. You don't really see that in like a lot of times people think heaven is like where you would see angels and things like that. It's not really that. And heaven, you more so see like humans, more so. And their divinity, but that's more so what you see there. Is our family here really our family? What is family on the other side? Blood relatives. So blood relatives, like we have them here, isn't necessarily a thing there, right? Like oftentimes your family here will be people that you've agreed to come in to have an experience with. Sometimes, not every time, sometimes they are people that you've had multiple experiences with, and this is where you will feel a big strong connection with them. You've came here before in loops. Some people travel in groups. Some people do travel in groups, and they'll be like, okay, we'll come here and experience this, and then they'll switch the dynamics a little bit, and they come in and they experience things together. That's like the closest thing to a soul family. It's just beings that you resonate with, that you came in to have experiences with. But it is not the dynamic like your mom here is going to be your mom there. No, get that out of your mind. That is a very human concept. The illusion of birthing a soul only exists here. You see, so and there's connections and things like that there, but once you're an almighty infinite being, your desire to have connections with, like, it's not like here. It's not like you're dependent on people here. It's like you're very free. You're your ultimate authority. So like you don't even depend on nobody like you do here. You are it. But certain people do move in groups and things like that, and you'll have a strong connection with them. And you can have love for another soul on the other side, like a physical attraction, but it is also not like here. That's where it's just you two. It's also not like that. It's hard to explain, and there's different layers and levels to this. There's different layers and levels to this as well. But it's hard for me to understand like what level to take these things to. Like, where are you thinking? But I hope that helps, my friend. I hope that helps. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Antonio? Yeah, man. Welcome here, my man. Welcome. We touched on this one already, Prop. We touched on this one already as well. Guys, I think I am gonna get out of here soon. I do have some work to do today, and so before we get out of here, let me just say, so this week there is no presentation on Beyond the Veil. I am going within after this, but before I left, I did want to do another Q&A and touch base with you guys. But yeah, this week I'll be leaving my body quite often and going within. So there is no presentation this weekend Beyond the Veil. But next week we're back. I'll be giving a presentation on how to leave throughout the dream state. And then after that, I'll be helping you guys leaving throughout the day. The best technique to leave throughout the day, best conditions to set up, because I believe that these will, that fear is the number one way that stops people. So, okay, if you can't overcome your fear at night, well, let's do it during the day then, or let's leave throughout the dream state. Nothing should stop you guys from accessing the other side. So, I'm working on that. And then August I have alchemy. I'm having alchemy will be starting the first week of August. I'm combining everything that I have learned through all of my experiences into one place, and this place is going to be alchemy. And on a weekly basis we will grow and develop until the point where we learn to master the mental, physical, and astral planes, doing things that were once thought to be unbelievable in all aspects. But all right, so that's all I have for you guys. I do have a couple interviews coming out, and things like that. And I don't know if I'll have a Q&A next week live on YouTube, but next Sunday we do have that meeting on Beyond the Veil. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. And yeah, so hopefully to see you guys there, and enjoy yourselves. Thank you guys for being here with me, and let's continue this. We are all in this together. This is a team effort here. The veil of forgetfulness is thick, and we all need help, and we all need to do our part in helping remove this veil for everybody. So thank you guys for being here, and that's all I have for you guys. So that's it. As always, remember, you are not just in the controlling it. I'm the Alchemist, and I'll see you on the other side. Oh, hey, Beth. Hey, guys. Yeah. All right, guys. All right.